Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Source. Running through 4 MLB picks in this one. Make sure you tune into the live show, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We'll go through every single game on the slate, so you don't want to miss that. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source.
First up, Phillies on the road in Houston here. World Series rematch. We got Zack Wheeler pitching against Christian Javier. Houston opens up as very slight favorites, minus 115. Total opens up at 7.5. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, after 5 innings, we're looking at 4-2 Philly. Final score, also 4-2 Philly. So let's start with Zack Wheeler. So he's been pretty solid this year. I mean, I know 2-1 with a 4.73 ERA. It's not exactly numbers that blow you away, but he's actually second in the MLB in barrel rate. Only Shohei Ohtani has a better barrel rate than Zack Wheeler this season. Opposing hitters are just not getting solid wood on the ball. But I have a couple concerns about backing Zack Wheeler here. Number one, look who he's pitched against. I mean, Rockies, White Sox, Marlins, Reds. Those are his last 4 starts. He does have a start against the Texas Rangers under his belt, but they hit him into another planet. Texas put up 7 hits and 5 runs on Wheeler, so the only decent lineup he's seen this year absolutely rocked him. My second concern about backing Zack Wheeler is he's on the road. Last season, he had a 1.85 ERA at home, elite. On the road, it drops all the way back to a 3.84, 2 runs higher. This year, he's off to a slow start on the road, 7.71 ERA. So the 2 areas that worry me about Zack Wheeler, pitching against a strong lineup and pitching on the road, that we're in both. I mean, he's on the road against the Houston Astros. Also, Zack Wheeler pitched against the Astros twice in the World Series, and the Astros beat Zack Wheeler twice. Want to know who else pitched in the World Series? Christian Javier, and he threw 6 innings of no-hit baseball against the Phillies. And Javier's off to a really strong start this season. His last 2 starts, 11 innings pitched, just 2 earned runs, just 6 hits. Want to know who those starts were against? The Blue Jays and at Atlanta. So he's not putting up these numbers against scrubs. I'm down to just straight up play the starting pitching matchup here. I'm taking Houston first 5 minus a half run. You can get that right now at plus 120. Juicy plus money there. I'm doing it. Next game. Giants at Padres in Mexico City. We got Sean Manaea versus Joe Musgrave. This total opens up at 9. It's actually at 15 now. We'll get to why in 1 second. San Diego opened up at heavy favorites, minus 220. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at 4-2 Giants after 5, 4-3 Giants final, but just toss that out because wait till you hear about this stadium they're playing in. So like I said, they're playing in Mexico City. So I'm sure you're all familiar with Coors Field. The total's always high, 10.5, 11.5, 12 in Coors Field because they play at such an high altitude. Coors Field is 5,200 feet above sea level. The next highest altitude stadium in the MLB is Chase Field at just 1,100 feet above sea level. That's why you always see a lot of runs at Coors Field. Thin air, ball carries more. This game's being played at Alfredo Arp Elu Field. It's 7,320 feet above sea level, so 2,000 feet higher than Coors Field. To top that off, it's got a short 325-foot fence down both the left and right field lines. So I get why this total is insanely high. 15, I mean, I bet the under when I saw it. Maybe I'm a sucker for that, but 15 just sounds crazy to me. As far as the baseball matchup, Joe Musgrove has owned the Giants. In his last 6 starts against the Giants, he's 2-0 with a 1.16 ERA and a 0.77 whip. He has owned this team. That being said, there's been a lot of turnover in the Giants lineup this season, so I don't know how relevant that data is, but it's still important to take note of it. Either way, I think we can all agree that he has the pitching advantage over Sean Manaea. This dude is struggling to say the least. Ready for some Sean Manaea numbers? Here we go. So he's got a 6.61 ERA this year. His expected ERA is 7.96, which means Sean Manaea is lucky to have a 6.61 ERA. Not to mention his ERA on the road this year, 8.44. His ERA on the road last year, 6.16. So this is a pattern. This dude can't pitch on the road. I know the Padres have struggled to hit left-handed pitching. That being said, I think this might be the exception. You got Manaea on the road in a really weird ballpark where the ball just fly off the bat. Yeah, they should hit the shit out of him. So here's what I'm going to bet in this one. And let me just say, I don't think anyone can really predict what's going to happen in this ballpark. So this is a little bit just for fun. But I'm going to take San Diego minus 1.5. That's at minus 105. I almost never bet the home team on the run line when they're favored, but I think this is the exception. I'm also going to take San Francisco team total under 6.5, also at -105. So 2 bets, both -105, next game. Yankees are in Texas again. We got Johnny Brito versus Nathan Eovaldi. Texas opened up as slight favorites, -120. Total opens up at 9. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at a 5-2 score after 5 innings in favor of Texas. Final score 7-2 Texas. I know at first glance, Johnny Brito's numbers may scare the shit out of you for the season, but hear me out. He's had 5 starts this year. 2 of them were against the Minnesota Twins. So Johnny Brito's numbers this year, a 6.11 ERA, 1.53 WHIP, and a 2.58 OBA. Not good. But if you take out those 2 starts against Minnesota, those numbers drop to a 1.25 ERA, a 0.97 WHIP, and a 1.63 OBA. A significant difference. Basically, Johnny Brito's been good as hell against anyone not named the Minnesota Twins. The Texas Rangers are most definitely not named the Minnesota Twins. What the Rangers do have is 6 lefties in their starting lineup. Left-handed bats against Brito this year own just a 188 batting average. He's been excellent against left-handed hitting, and the Rangers have a shitload of lefties. I've said all I need to say. I mean, I think Brito's super undervalued in this spot. You get the Yankees at plus money, I'm going to take it. Even the Yankees money line at plus 115. I'd also look at the Yankees first 5 money line at plus 111 next game. Angels are in Milwaukee again. Reed Detmers against Corbin Burns. Milwaukee opens up as -130 favorites. Total opens up at 8. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're looking at 3-1 Angels after 5 innings. Final score 5-2 Angels. So check this out. Corbin Burns has been an absolute monster this year against left-handed bats. Against right-handed bats, not so much. So righties this year are batting .341 against Corbin Burns with a .937 OPS. That's crazy. So does the Angels lineup have any right-handed bats in it? Yeah, they have 7. The Angels have 7 right-handed bats in their lineup. This is not a good matchup for Corbin Burns. Reed Detmers on the mound for the Angels. He's off to a really mediocre start this year. Hasn't been terrible, but definitely not good. That being said, he has a golden opportunity here pitching against a Brewers lineup that's been bottom 3 against left-handed pitching for most of the season. You know, every casual bettor's opening up their app. They're seeing Corbin Burns pitching at home, and they're taking the Brewers, which is opening up a real nice opportunity for us to get the Angels first 5 money line at plus 125. I'm taking it. Let's go. Any crazy changes or updates, I'll let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want to hear us go through every single game on the slate, make sure you tune into the live show at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.